In February 2026, $1 trillion was wiped from software stocks in a single week. Not because of recession, not because of inflation, because investors realized that AI agents don't need software seats. The per-seat pricing model that built the entire SaaS industry is collapsing in real time. And if you're a bootstrap founder, well, then this is the best news you've ever heard. Let me explain why and show you the new playbook. I'm Sean, and I've spent 15 years bootstrapping SaaS businesses, including the one I'm building in public now called CLAUDE. Now my focus is helping founders like you succeed in building your SaaS businesses. And one thing I can tell you from all the experience I have in doing this, I've never quite seen a shift in the market like this. For the last 20 years, the SaaS playbook pretty much looked like this. You would build a horizontal platform, which means go wide, as in don't choose a specific industry. You would charge per seat. You would also lock customers in with things like high switching costs. And if you were charging per seat, what that would mean is, as your customer grows, their headcount, as in more employees, that means more revenue for your SaaS business. You would fund operations by typically raising VC money so that you could outspend your competitors. You would reinvest as much of that as you could into sales and go-to-market. Every single one of those rules is now changed. Horizontal platforms are getting crushed by vertical specialists. Per-seat pricing doesn't work when AI agents can replace users. Switching costs are disappearing because AI can learn any software in minutes. Customer headcount is shrinking, not growing. VC money is now more cautious. Enterprise sales teams are being replaced by product-led growth. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't just bad news for incumbents, it's a gift to bootstrappers like you and me, because the new playbook was basically designed specifically for people like us. So what are the new rules? Well, let's start with the most fundamental shift in where you should be competing. The old rule was to build for everyone. The new rule is to build for one industry specifically. The vertical SaaS market is growing at nearly 24% annually, almost double the broader SaaS market. Why? Because a generalist CRM that serves everyone serves no one particularly well. But building a billing automation tool built specifically for small law firms, like the app I'm building in public called CLAUDE, understands the domain, speaks the language, and solves the exact problem. Enterprise giants can't go this deep into every niche. They're too big, they're too slow, and they're too distracted by AI transition. That's your opening. Pick a vertical, become the expert, and own the space. Once you've picked your vertical, the next question is, who specifically are you building for? And spoiler alert, most founders get this backwards. The old rule was you would build the product, then you would go find customers. But the new rule is to find the buyer, then build around the needs of real customers. I covered this in detail in a previous episode and will link to it in the show notes, but it bears repeating here because it's the foundation of everything else. If you're building in 2026 and you don't have a real human waiting for your product, you're doing it wrong. One conversation with a real buyer saves you months of building the wrong thing. Your go-to-market timeline should literally be zero. Now that you know your buyer and your vertical, how should you go about actually building? This next rule changes everything about bringing SaaS products to market in 2026. The old rule was you would build the product and bolt on AI later, but the new rule is AI is the foundation of your product, not a bolt-on feature. This is the difference between AI-enabled SaaS and AI-native SaaS. An AI-enabled product is a traditional tool with a chatbot slapped on. An AI-native product was designed from the ground up to use intelligence as its core infrastructure. For CLAUDE, for example, AI isn't a premium add-on, it is the engine. The entire product is built around the idea that AI reads your meetings, extracts your billable time, and calculates the revenue you would otherwise lose. Without AI, there is no product. That's AI native. Gartner expects 80% of enterprises will deploy Gen AI-enabled apps in 2026. The bar has moved. AI isn't an afterthought anymore. It's expected to be there when you launch. Now you've got your vertical, your buyer, and your AI native approach. Now comes the question that's reshaping the entire SaaS industry. How exactly do you price it? The old rule was to charge per seat per month. The new rule is to charge for the outcome your software delivers. This is the single biggest shift in SaaS history. Per seat pricing assumes humans are the users, but when AI agents are doing the work, nobody's sitting in a seat. A Fortune 50 company leaked a memo planning to cut their Salesforce and ServiceNow spend by 60%, not because the software is bad, but because they need fewer human users. As a bootstrapper, you have an advantage here that incumbents don't. You've never been locked into a per-seat pricing model. You can design outcome-based pricing from the start. If Clockless recovers $5,000 in lost billable time per month for a firm and only charges $99, that's a no-brainer. I'm not selling a seat. I'm selling recovered revenue. That's the new pricing model. You've built the right product with the right pricing. Now comes the question, how do people find you? And warning for you guys, this rule might be the most counterintuitive in my list. The old rule used to be that the best product with the deepest pockets would win, but the new rule is that the best product with the best distribution wins. Now, when AI can build an MVP in weeks and replicate features in days, product quality alone isn't a moat. What is a moat is owning the channel that connects you to your customers. Founder-led content, an email list, a YouTube channel, a community, SEO or AEO authority in your niche. These are assets that compound over time and can't be replicated quickly by a competitor with a bigger engineering team or deeper pockets. The biggest SaaS exits in 2026 aren't happening because of superior technology. They're happening because founders cracked at least one repeatable acquisition channel. All right, so distribution is your moat, but you still have to actually build the product. Rule 6 is about how fast and how cheap that can be done in 2026. The old rule was you would raise money, hire a team, build for a year, but the new rule is you ship in weeks, you iterate from feedback, and you stay profitable throughout the journey. AI development tools, Lovable, Cursor, Claude Code, they've collapsed the cost of building to near zero, where you can go from idea to functional MVP in a week for under $100. That changes the math on everything. And by the way, I've got a video on how to do that as well, and I'll link to it below. Now, you don't need permission. You don't need investors. You don't even need a team. You need a validated problem, a focused product, and discipline to ship. Bootstrapped SaaS companies with clean financials and strong retention are now premium acquisition targets. The goal is to build a business that can raise, but doesn't actually need to raise. The last rule ties everything together. If AI writes the code and anyone can build fast, what's actually defensible? Hint, it's not what you might expect. The old rule was that your code base was your moat, but the new rule is that your context, your accumulated project intelligence is your moat. When AI writes the code itself isn't the differentiator anymore. What's unique is the accumulated context that you've built, your CLAUDE.md file or your rules file with dozens of project-specific guidelines, your domain expertise encoded as requirements, your test suites that define exactly what working means in your niche. A competitor can clone your features. They can't clone the 6 months of iterative context engineering. They'd have to make every mistake you already made and learn every lesson you've already learned. That takes time, and time is the one thing that nobody can shortcut. So those are the 7 new rules. Now let me show you what happens when you put all of them together, because the numbers are staggering. Global SaaS spending is projected to rise from $318 billion to $576 billion by 2029. The market is not shrinking, it's restructuring. The money is moving from bloated horizontal incumbents to focused vertical tools built by small teams. Micro-SaaS founders are routinely hitting $5,000 to $50,000 per month. The median profitable micro-SaaS currently makes about $4,200 a month. The top 1% exceed $50,000 per month, with teams of 1 to 3 people. AI startups can command up to 30 times revenue valuations versus 7 times for traditional SaaS. The old guard is scrambling. They have thousands of employees, legacy pricing models, and investors demanding answers. You have none of that baggage. You can move faster, price smarter, go deeper into a niche, and ship a product this month that solves a problem better than anything a billion-dollar company offers. This is the new SaaS playbook, and it was written for bootstrappers. If you want the complete framework for building and launching a SaaS product using this new playbook, I've put together a free 5-day email course. And if you want one-on-one guided expertise from someone who's been there and done that, I also offer private coaching for students who are the right fit. Check out the links in the description below to learn more. I'm Sean, this is Bootstrappers Paradise. The old rules are dead, the new ones favor you, and I'll see you in the next one.